So that's the first one that he goes through. The second one is a bit different, actually. Let's see. Whoops. The second one takes into account the power of compounding. And that makes a big difference because compounding your money is where the geometric average really comes to matter a lot. And if you aren't using the geometric average when calculating compounding, then you are not correctly calculating your actual payoffs. So now what'll happen is something a bit different. You have $3,000 in savings still. But you still need to get someone to help fund your shipment. So you need an investor. So you need an investor, like a bank or rich uncle, to give you $8,000. Okay? Because you only had $3,000. You need to get the cargo first, and it'll cost $3,000. If you succeed and it ends up in St. Petersburg, then you're going to make a profit of $2,000. If you fail, then you lose that $8,000. So, just to make things a bit clearer, hopefully this makes things clearer. If you succeed, then it's 3,000 plus 8,000 plus 2,000, which is 13,000. And succeed means Jack the Baltic pirate guy doesn't come. Okay? Oh, and the chance of piracy is still 5%. So if you succeed, that's 13,000. If you fail, then it is simply 3,000. That's all you have, because you've lost the investor's money, you've lost your profit. You don't have any of that. So I guess you could write it as 3,000 plus 8,000 minus 8,000. So 3,000. Okay? In this part of the St. Petersburg merchant trade, what he's trying to show you is that you can actually have a higher growth rate by buying insurance and taking on less risk, even though it seems more pricey than if you don't buy insurance, pay less upfront, and actually have a lower compounding rate with more risk. So anyway, the rate of return, if you succeed, is 13,000 divided by 11,000. 11,000 is your original starting wealth, and that is equal to around 1.18. Okay, so that's 18% growth. If you fail, then the growth rate is 3,000 over 11,000, which is equal to 0.27, or a 73% loss. how does he get 73? 100 minus 27 is equal to 73. Okay? And 3,000 is 27% of 1,100. So if you multiply 1,100 by 0.27, you'll get 3,000. So that is what happens when you don't have insurance. You either get 18% or 73%, or 18% gain or a 73% loss. And if I wanted to calculate the Bernoulli expected value of the growth rate, if I were to send out 100 chips as the merchant, then I would calculate that in a similar way to what I did last time, which was to then to do the growth rate of success, which is 1.18, raised to the power of 95, because 95 shipments out of 100 will succeed, won't be stolen by Jackman. Then you multiply that by 0.27 from here, and that's the growth rate when Jack does steal something, and 5% chance of that. You multiply, or you raise it to the power of 1 over 100, because we're sending out 100 shipments, and that equals 1.098, or 9.8% growth. Okay, so that is your growth rate when you don't pay for insurance and you're compounding your wealth, right? So that's the difference between the last example that Spitznagel put forward and this one. In this one, you are compounding your wealth because you have investor money on the line. Okay? Let's say you do buy insurance. What is your growth rate then? So the payoffs change. Actually, I'll move this. If you do buy insurance, then if you succeed, then you make 3,000 plus 8,000, or your end wealth rather will be 3,000 plus 8,000 plus 2,000. So savings, investor money, profit, minus the cost of insurance, which is equal to I did that wrong. Whoopsies. Which is equal to $12,200. So if you buy insurance, that is what you expect to make 95% of the time. And so what this means then is your growth rate for success is 12,200 over 1,100. Sorry, 11,000, which is equal to 1.1091, or 10.91%. Okay, so if you buy insurance, this is your expected outcome, Bernoulli expected value, and that means your Bernoulli growth rate, expected growth rate, is 10.91% for every shipment on geometric average. If you don't buy insurance, we calculated without insurance, right? Yeah, we did. Succeed or fail. Succeed. this is actually, whether Jack steals your thing or not, doesn't, the calculations will be exactly the same, because you're either going to make that 8,000 from, that's a good question, actually. That's a very good question. So the question I'm asking is, does it make a difference if it fails and you don't pay for insurance? I don't think that... So Spitznagel's math assumes that if you buy insurance and Jack steals your stuff, that you will make $10,000, that your underwriter will give you $10,000. So I think. So let's go through the math just in case. So if you buy insurance but you fail and you don't make that profit, your underwriter will just give you, your insurance broker will just give you that $8,000. What you end up with is $3,000 plus the insurance money from failing. So that's $8,000. You get no profit, and then $800 is the cost of insurance. So 9, 10, 11, 10. I think that's right. Yeah. So that's the cost. Let's see. This is not the math that he does, by the way. I think he does something else. So what is that equal to? 10,200 divided by 11,000. That doesn't look right. I get 0.93, or a loss of 7.28%. So let me see what he says. How does this work? Yeah, it looks like Spitznagel doesn't really answer this question. The question being, what does the insurance cover? Because surely the insurance wouldn't cover your profit. They're not going to give you profit if you fail. Maybe they'll just give you the investor's money. So anyway, let's see what happens with the math, if it still adds up. Now that we've calculated the rate of success with insurance, and we've also calculated now that we've calculated the growth rate with insurance, if you succeed and Jack doesn't get away, and the growth rate with insurance if Jack does succeed, we can calculate the Bernoulli expected value from you paying for insurance. So what that is you do 1.1091 times 90 to the power of 95 multiplied by 0.93 power of 5. Raise it all to 100. 1 over 100. And let's see what we get. We get 1.099, or growth rates Wow, that is interesting. Wow, that is very interesting. So, actually, his example still works out. This part of the math that is happening right over here. This is not part of the book. That's just me playing around. But the point that he's making here is a very important one, and the math still works out. It's just not as growth. It's not as big as the number in the book. The number in the book is 11%. Yeah, 1.11 or 11% per shipment. He's getting that from this number, and he's assuming that the insurance person will pay for both the investment along with the profit. So the insurance payer will pay for $10,000. Will pay $10,000. Now, the point that he's making is that if you buy insurance, you can expect your wealth to compound at a rate of 9.93%. Okay? And is there a risk with that? The answer is no, because you're paying for insurance. So this is quite sure. You're going to make 9.93% year after year. If you don't buy insurance, you're only going to grow 9.8%. Is this sure? No, because you're taking on a lot of risk. So this whole idea that is so popular in the investment world, that you need to take on more risk to get more reward, is false. This is why this example is so mind-blowing. It proves that taking on risk doesn't lead to more returns. It can actually lead to less returns. So even if it looks like something like insurance is expensive or overpriced, if you use a geometric average, you can find that you can actually make more money than if you don't pay for insurance. That's what's mind-blowing. And the reason behind this is that there is that chance of you losing 73%. So if this number were to be higher, then it would make more of a difference here. That's because these losses are so big that every time you lose it, it makes a big impact on your total wealth because it compounds. But if you help avoid those losses, then your total will go up as well. This isn't the math that he uses, by the way. He looks at, he just uses this. So he'll say 11% if you buy insurance, that's your growth rate, or 9.8% if you don't buy insurance. But even if you change the math and you only consider the $8,000 of original investment money as something that needs to be reimbursed, you still make more. Your growth rate is still higher if you buy insurance. So that's the point that he's making. It is that you need to calculate your insurance properly by using the geometric average, because what matters through time is your compounding. And this was the idea behind this curve, which is that the more that you lose, the more it takes to get back to where you originally were. So just try not to lose. And then that way you can improve your compounding growth rate, your geometric average through time. Okay, I think we're done. Thank you for listening.